guys, I'm back today to talk about something that I've been wanting to make a video about for the longest time now, and I don't know, I just never really knew if anyone would be interested, but I'm trying to step out and actually talk about what I want to, so here we are. So I'm away from my usual setup today. Instead, I'm wrapped up in a blanket on my bed, which, yes, I did match the blanket to my makeup. Thank you for noticing. Sure, no one noticed, but if you did, good job. And it's funny that I mentioned it if you did. But, yeah, I'm so tired. I can't even force myself to, like, go sit down where I normally film, which is right next to my bed, and it's on a pillow. Like, it would have been so easy to just do that, but no, I'm just that lazy today, so I figured this is a good excuse to film like a deep emotional kind of video because 12 a.m. in my bed cuddled up in a blanket seemed like a pretty good time to talk about those late night feels. So without further ado, let's get into some K-pop songs that just make me so emo. There are certain ones that just like they evoke this emotion that like can't even really be put into words. It's just a feeling of like, wow, this really touched my soul. And it's like impossible to actually explain why or how, but for some reason they do, and they just have this incredible effect on me. And this is something I really wanted to share because that is so special. And I think that kind of connection to music is one of the most incredible things that can happen. Honestly, I think it's the coolest thing. And yeah, I really wanted to share some of those songs with you that did that for me, so let's get started. So the first one I have to tell you about is probably my favorite K-pop song ever to this day. Ever since I discovered it, I'm like, this is my favorite song, and since then I haven't changed it because I love it so much, and it's something that I think will really stick with me. It is Haru Haru by Big Bang. I think it is the most beautiful, just touching song in the world. There's something about the sound of it that just gets me, and it always has. And I love it so much. I still remember the exact moment I discovered it too. It was on Vine when that was still a thing, and I remember scrolling. I was just randomly scrolling through K-pop stuff when I had first started discovering it, and I remember hearing this one clip. It was of Taeyong singing, and I didn't know who they were at the time yet. I didn't know who Big Bang were. I was just finding out what K-pop was pretty much. Maybe like a month in or something, I knew like BTS at the time and that was it. And so I heard 6 seconds of that song and I just knew, like, I need to know what this song is. I have to find it. So I ended up finding it, and to this day I love it so much. And the funniest part was that that 6 second clip was actually from a Japanese version of the song, a performance of the Japanese version, and yet like they do sound different, they really do, and yet it still became my favorite song. I know I have such a connection with it, and I still remember trying to learn it and stuff way back when, and I thought it was so hard because I barely knew any Korean at all, and yeah, it's just really funny to look back at. But yeah, that song will forever have such a special place in my heart, and for about 2 years now it's been my favorite song ever, so yeah. The next one I wanted to mention was by The Rose, and it's Take Me Down. Something about it just, the way they sing it, it has this almost pitiful feeling to it, but in such a relatable way. Like, I understand it so much, and there's just such a connection there, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I could not recommend it more if you haven't heard it before. It just really draws you in. All of their songs do. I think every song by The Rose is incredible. I love them overall as a band, but that one for some reason just really, really got me. That's how I felt about Sorry the first time I heard it too, and pretty much all of their songs I had that kind of moment with, but yeah, that one really I just go back to all the time, and it's just, it's that song for me. So the next song I want to mention is by an artist who I absolutely fell in love with his work since I found it, and I'm so glad I did. I just, every one of his songs I absolutely love, and same goes for Drug Restaurant. the band that he's a vocalist in, and his solo work, just everything. I love everything he does so much. I don't know quite what it is. I think it's a mix of the whole vibe of his music and his vocals and just the meaning behind it, but everything just really, really touches me, and I love his music so much, and the song Sympathy in particular just really, really got me. I don't know, it's so beautiful, and just the way he sings it so soulfully, and just I love it so much, and again, all of his songs, so I would very highly recommend him as an artist. I also love Fiance and other songs by him, but yeah, so good. And Her by Drug Restaurant, I have to throw that in there too, like for sure. Oh my god, his songs are amazing. Sorry, I probably repeated that like 3 times in the last minute, but seriously. Alright, moving along, the next one I have to mention is Colors by Day 6. And Day 6 has so many intense, beautiful songs that really is their style per se, but Colors in particular just really caught my attention, especially given that it's a non-title track, and I just don't understand why it's so underhyped. I think it is so beautiful, and just, oh my god, the sound of it and the lyrics just really like pull at your heartstrings. It's amazing. The next one gets a little bit more depressing, but nonetheless it has so much meaning for me, and I wanted to express that. So this one is Winter Wonderland by Shiny. I think I've mentioned on my channel before in a video or two about how much this song means to me, but I still remember the first time I found this one too. It was also a little over 2 years ago when I was first getting into K-pop. Shiny was one of the first groups I kind of started listening to, and the song that really got me hooked, oddly, was this like Japanese like song that almost no one knew about. It wasn't like one of their main hit songs or anything, or even a Korean title track or anything. It was just this like holiday Japanese song, and for some reason that one did it. I'm not a person to really like show other people K-pop and stuff and like what I'm into. Like, I don't shove it down my friends' throats if they're not into this sort of thing. But this music video for Winter Wonderland, I showed to everyone. I showed to like both my K-pop friends, the ones who like didn't care about K-pop at all. This one I needed everyone to see, and I just remember like loving it so much. Like, everyone had to see it, and I remember I have like this one very distinct memory also of I was decorating the tree in December of 2016 when I'd first discovered them, like kind of recently, and I had them up on the big screen at my grandma's house, and there was a big TV. Sorry, I'm not being very clear with the explanation. So my grandparents have like this big widescreen TV hanging in the living room, and that's where we usually put the tree up. And I remember putting on that music video and the song while decorating the tree, and it was such a positive thing for me. Like, I remember just about every song I played that day, and because like the whole like K-pop was new to me, and like that's when I started really developing that love, and just like decorating to it at like around the holidays. I just remember it very clearly, and like it was the few artists I knew at the time, and yeah, so I remember playing that song and decorating, and it made me so happy. I love that song more than anything. I just thought it was so beautiful, and it was like one of the first K-pop songs I learned the lyrics to, and it's not even Korean, which is kind of funny, but um, yeah, it just very special place, and I've played it both years after that, 2017 and 2018, and it doesn't have that positive vibe anymore, sadly, for obvious reasons, but kind of turned depressing, but that didn't take away from how much I love this song and how much it means to me, and now it means even more in a sense, and yeah, I love it so, so much, more than I can say. Side note, sorry my voice is so scratchy right now. I don't know why it's like that. I guess long day of actually talking. Alright, so the next one is Epic High's song called Shoebox. it's just so pretty and has like such a sweet message about like coming home to someone you love. And I don't know, it's just the sound of it again. Like a lot of the time I judge music just by sound. For some reason, like the melody or the way something is sung can have an even more powerful effect than the lyrics at times, which is kind of strange to think about, but that is kind of how I judge things a lot of the time. And this one just really gets me. It's so beautiful. Just, I don't know, it's very comforting almost and emotional, and I love that. Definitely the kind of music style I'm into. Alright, next up we have Awake by Jin from BTS. This one, oh my goodness, one of the first K-pop songs I knew as well. Like, I think Awake and Blood, Sweat, and Tears were the first two songs I ever tried learning the lyrics to, which again was over 2 years ago now, which is insane to me. But just immediately, like right off the bat, just it touched me so much. Just the lyrics are so like metaphorical in a sense and so beautiful, and his voice and just how stunning that song is. I just can't beat it. I mean, it's so, so good. And yeah, ever since the beginning, it's been one of my favorites. And yeah, that's not going anywhere for sure. So this next one I find just a little bit underrated. I think most people know about it, but I wish people would like recognize it more, if that makes sense. And the song is Without You by NCTU. And I just I it's so beautiful, and I wish it got hyped up more like other NCT songs, because it's again like that super passionate emotional singing and a beautiful melody, and it just, yeah, one of my favorite songs ever too in K-pop. This seems to be a trend, but the first songs that I got attached to seem to have really stuck with me, and that kind of seems to be a trend that sticks. So yeah, that one is 100% on this list. All right, so I have two left to talk about, and these are the ones where it gets really, really intense in terms of just the song itself and the lyrics and everything like that, and like the extra meaning. So the first one I want to talk about is The Last by Auguste or Suga from BTS. And that song just, it's so much. The lyrics are so just raw and powerful, and I respect him so much for putting that out there. And it's not something you can casually listen to. It just isn't. I saw someone post about that. I don't know if it was a tweet, I don't remember, but someone like took the words right out of my mouth in that sense, where like it's not a song you can just casually turn on and listen to. It's like something you'd play twice a year, like in the middle of the night, and just like really take it in. Definitely that kind of song. And it just made my respect for him skyrocket even more. I mean, I already knew he was incredible, but I remember listening to that and just thinking, like, wow, what an incredible human being. It intense isn't even the right word for what this song is, and the meaning in it, and just how powerful and moving it is. So yeah, I don't know, I really connected with him through that, and I think it's incredible that he put that out there. And yeah, I really don't even have words for this one. Alright, last but certainly not least, we have Bang Young-guk's song called 4:44 a.m. And this song is so extra special to me because his songs were the only thing where, so let's preface this a little bit. A few months ago, I was in like one of the most like awful, like depressive states I've ever been in my life. Just like, sometimes life events kind of throw you off, and that's what happened at that time. And for like, it was about a week of like where it was really bad. And in those times, like, you don't think that anything can possibly make you feel better. It's just like you kind of got to wait it out. And that's how I was feeling. Like, I didn't want anything at all. Like, nothing in the world appealed to me. And a lot of the times when I feel like that, I would go to music to try and make me feel better, or make me feel something, or at least, like, know that other people are going through things, and somehow that would, like, make me feel a little less, like, it'll get better, or that kind of, that kind of thing. And that song was the only one. Like, Jungkook's music was the only thing that helped. Like, I tried so many different songs. Like, a lot of these I went through, and I tried to, like, get some of these to work for me, or, like, listen to something that would, like, change my mindset or take my mind off of things. And, a lot of the time that works, but until that song, nothing did. I mean, I already knew the song ahead of time. It's just that, like, from everything I tried, his songs were what worked, especially this one. And yeah, I think that's incredible and so powerful that it can do that. And yeah, it'll definitely have a special place for me because of that. And also, just, it's such a good song. Like, all that aside, emotion aside, it's so catchy and it flows so well. And yeah, that's what I've got to say about that one. Alright, so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and maybe you love some of these songs too. Let me know if you have any songs like that that, like, really just get you. I love things like this, just talking about that, and I'm glad I finally filmed this, because it is really something I wanted to get out there. I just never really knew when the right time was, or, like, I don't know if anyone would be interested in hearing about it, I guess, but yeah, these mean a lot to me, so I'm glad I finally just have it all in one place. And I'm sure I'll think of more, so maybe at some point I'll end up doing a part 2, but yeah, I'd love to get some dialogue going in the comments about these, so yeah, alright. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram at Alice on the Internet, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, everyone.